Welcome back to another Thromnos video review, and yes, we are taking a look at more old school toys. Yes, we are. Because I have a pile of stuff to still get through. Yes, we're going to get to that. This guy was in a box loose. He is missing the two blasters that plug in right here. But I'm starting in this mode because this is my least favorite mode. He has wheels. There's a wheel here, there's two wheels here, and there's on both sides, so there's four wheels there, one wheel on each wing. He does roll, not super smoothly, but smooth enough for swooshability and flying things and rotate turbines. It has Minicon ports that they added to it because this is a this original design came out in 2001 for Robots in Disguise, and this one came out in Energon, I believe. Yes, let's take a look at the box. The box, sun faded as it is. There's no Minicon port on here. There's no Minicon port up here. This is the Transformers Robots in Disguise version on this packaging. There's no Minicon ports anywhere on this thing at all. So all this electronics and gimmicks has still functioned in this original version, but has not been added any special effects. Colors have changed, not because of the box being sun faded, but it is Transformers Robots in Disguise, but they rebranded the same pictures. There's no, like this one, there's on the box, there's no port here and no port here as they are on the figure. So this has been refitted 2003 for Transformers Energon. A long line of redos, rehashes, and redesigns. But he does have lights and sounds and gimmicks just like the original. They're all in here. I changed out I took it apart, which this side, there's a screw. I'll show you later on. There's a screw, and this whole thing comes out. Anyways, I took out the LR44s. I scrubbed down with rubber alcohol and a Q-tip the ports and connectors, and now have his tank sounds. And if you pull back, you don't even need a Minicon for this. Just pull back because they didn't have these on there before. His machine guns. Now, this button does something else. If you know, you know. Don't spoil it for anybody else. This button does something else in another mode. We'll get to that. However, this is the Scorponok's jet mode. Enough being said. There's the bottom, the speaker for the sound effects. You've got the hooky thing, wheels and things. There's one wheel there, one wheel. Well, it's there. It's just meh, right there. You have the other four wheels right here in the belly. But we're going to get into transformation into the Scorpion mode, which is relatively easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to unhold his butt cheek, bring out the delicious sounding ratchets. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole pivoting thing, make sure this silver detail's up, bring in the feet, bring these down. Bring them down all the way. Just like that. Now we're going to take this whole assembly and rotate it at the hip. Oh, yeah. All the way around. You can leave them down like this to be scoops, which actually I prefer. Now, you're going to separate. Now there's two joints. There's one here and one here. You want to separate it at this joint and the clip here. And bring that out. And out. Now you're going to take this shush. It's going to make those noises all the time. you're going to take it and disconnect everything from this hinge, and you're going to get a different noise because you're activating another switch in this joint. Now what you're going to do is bring it all the way down, bring that in, and now you're going to take this black piece right here and disconnect it from there, and then bring it all the way around. And listen to it make noise at you the entire time. Now you're going to take this hinge, start off with this shoulder, bring it all the way out, move in the wings, boop. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring out this joint here, and then this joint, you're going to bring all the way forward. Again, this joint, then take this joint back here, all the way, clip it together, bring down the mandibles, and then you're going to rotate the arms, screws up, and do the same thing again. Assembly is attached, when you've got the wheels on the top too, are attached to all these screws, and there's a joint system in here that's going to open up this thumb. Then you can take the missiles and slide the launchers forward. That's all clear plastic. Careful. Again, grab this whole assembly, slide it forward again, bada boom, you have his missile launchers that do fire past the fingers. I mean, you can, that's more for robot mode, but now you have those open. You can play around with the play on these thumb/claw pieces, and then fix the tank treads to fit into that gap. No, they do not clip into anything. They just rest there. Now, as you hear, this joint here has a sensor, or not a sensor, but a button as you move it. Then you've got the joint there at the top. You have one hinge, two hinge, so you can do this, bring it over, bring it down a little bit, then do that. That's what I like to do. Now, of a construction vehicle, the plow front end of a construction vehicle for bulldozing. He's got a cockpit of a construction vehicle for bulldozing. He's got the scoop arms of said, like, backhoe, but no rotation to get you into a backhoe position. There's nothing else other than the rotation here. Lost opportunity to turn this into a double design construction Frankenstein, but not bad as a toy for play features. Bring the tail up all the way, you've got the hook down, you bring the guns out, and you have your pew-pewing and bang-banging all day long. Put that all back together again. For articulation, you have up and down on the two separate mandible pieces. Again, you have the slide back of the guns, you have the opening and closing. If you have it all open for full grasping, you can close it a little bit to the first loop, then close the entire hand, and that folds beautifully into itself. If you have it all the way out like that, it will close only that far. So, bring it out, loop one small loop, and then close it. You have up and down, in and out here, you have in and out here. Not really much you can do about the articulation because it's pretty bare. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to bring this, for robot mode, bring this hook, crane, not scorpion tail, crane, up here, bring it back. Listen to this thing bark at you the entire time. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over, and you're going to take these two pegs and these two ports. You're just going to take this whole assembly again, stiff it in there, bring it all the way down, so it goes, bring it all the way this way, bring this, like this, angle it, then you're going to take this hip and this knee, straighten the knee on some beautiful ratchets, straighten up the hooky thing, do that on both sides, flip up the toes all the way, come back here. You have this little tiny spot. You get into your thumb for these heel spurs. That helps a lot. Straighten out the legs here, here, and now you listen to him make all sorts of weird noises the entire time you're playing with his tail. Get him in that kind of a standing position there. You're going to come here. You're going to split at the hinges here. Take this panel, bring it out. I'm glad this is a clear plastic insert that unscrews. Bring this head all the way up. Close the chest panel. But you're going to bring it down on the first hinge here. Bring this hinge all the way up. Then bend it at this hinge, bend it at this hinge. Bada boom, there you go. Shoulder pylons. Push back his claws. You can't see. Push back the pincers here. Keep this tail piece to the ground. Then you're going to rotate the arms all the way down. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to, they say to just fold his fists up. There's robot mode. However, if you want to access, you bring it out, slide it forward, you have your missile launcher. That is actually kind of cool. But very 2000s, gorilla arm, like he can't do anything else but in and out, swivel 360, out at the elbow. That's all he can do. And extend his arms forward. That's the arm articulation. Head can swivel all the way around. Not really any 360. His visor, as you saw, can go up. He has very loose thigh swivels. He has, let's get this out of the way, forward that far on the legs for a big old boot. Backwards that far for a big old back boot, which is actually quite far. He has a single jointed knee for 90 degrees. He has ankles that go this way, up and down, no real ankle pivot to speak of. He doesn't have any outward leg splay at all. None. It wiggles, that's it. But now, does it make his play function suck? Posing? Yes, because he has gorilla arms only. Beating on his chest, but he has missiles, and they do fire. They actually do fire. I just put the missiles in. I don't want to fire these off because I don't want them winding up in the ether. Actually, Galvatron. There you go. They're not the strongest missiles, but this figure has never had missiles in its sockets because they were literally still attached right where that gray spot is. The missiles were still attached in the box. Does it make his articulation, because of the limitations, suck? No. He does have another play feature where you take the scorpion tail and bring it all the way up, that button right there, against his back, listening to all those noises. Now using this switch here to pull the guns. Now if you decide you want walking noises, you hold the back, pushing against that button, you have that feature. You want the guns sound effects, you just bring it back and release that button, hear the noise of the release of that thing, and now you still have the tank mode sounds as well. Push that up. Yeah, you don't get the real deal scorpion kick out tail thing as much, but I mean, does he need the third leg to stand? No. He is pretty stable with those dang-on huge heel spurs. Articulation, could use more of it, but things like that hedge sculpt. That hedge sculpt is freaking awesome, and with the panel lining around the eyes, oh, I am so smitten with that. The detail in this whole figure alone is really good. The dirt wear that they don't do anymore for the black wash on certain parts, and the feet scuffs. You know, everything looks pretty freaking good on this thing. I absolutely love it. I highly recommend it. If you can get one for dirt cheap, 3 LR44 new batteries, threw out the old ones, cleaned up the corrosion, put in the new ones, and things work. So, there's my look at Transformers Energon / Robots in Disguise Scorponok. That is pretty much all my thoughts. Yeah, play value is a bit chunky. But, that being said, love y'all, love your faces, and peace.